Hello there. Okay, today is going to be another streaming day. Just guess an hour because at 15 o'clock I actually have to go and prepare to myself to go to my family. But I thought I'm left over. I did go jogging today, tomorrow morning. Then I packed some presents for my family, and now yeah, let's do something useful and actually stream, I guess. And yeah, the only problem I had today, which I can talk about, is one of my cats is still not using the cat toilet, probably, like she should, and she is actually using the bath tube, and I really had to close the bath for time now and make sure that she does not even have access to the bath tube, because I tried to tell her to punish her every time she does her stuff in there, but it's not working so far, and I'm trying to push her into the cat toilet, something which kind of works. So she kind of gets, and she's supposed to do her thing in the cat toilet, not in the bath tube. But today I had really a bad day because for her in this regard, because I was opening the bathroom for taking a shower after I was running, jogging, doing my workout stuff, whatever, and brushing my teeth, doing some clothes, and got my washing machine in there, and yeah, left it open. And I just hoped, like, hey, she's not going to in here, going in there, and yeah, she actually did, and did do her thing in the bathtub. And yeah, I really showed her that don't do that, and yeah, tried to really stress that out. And now I got scratches. This is the first one, pretty deep. And more here. These are more on the surface, but they hurt a little bit more. But some on my shoulder too. So yeah, that was a rough confrontation. Now I was not beating her or something. I was having her on me and showing her, no, don't do that. And I was actually holding her with one hand and trying to wash away leftovers. First put them out, and then yeah, still need to clean it everything up. And she of course hates water, and then I got some scratches. But yeah, you have to do the confrontation, and it's probably going to hurt, and it's going to be hard. That's how it is. And I don't think that you should try to be nice every time something bad happens, especially if you need to confront something. You need to face the problem and show it to her again and again until you get rid of it. Now, what I'm really afraid of is if she continues to do her cat thing in the bath tube instead of the cat toilet, that this becomes kind of a long-term habit, and I can't have that. This is a serious problem. This is a really serious problem. She does that on a regular basis. It's not going to be nice for me and for her. So closing the bathroom for now is maybe the right call, and trying to get her into the habit to do to be shitting in the cat toilet, and she has to develop that habit. There's no way around it. I already did always put water in the bath tube. That and sometimes it's just not working. Sometimes you have to get new water in there. You go away, leave it for a moment, and you find a nice surprise after that, because your cat has been in there and did her thing, not in the cat toilet, but in the bath tube again. And she's actively looking for the second where I go away and then do it. And there I'm really mad about that. Yeah. But I continue on that. Maybe I should Google, call for help, talk to some people, what to do in that situation, because it's now the first month, it's the second month, so this is to be expected. There's problems when you get two cats. It's not going to get smooth, but I feel like teaching her to do her thing in the cat toilet and not in the bath tube is not making any progress right now. That's bad. So in the future, I will make sure I need to make sure that she cannot do it in the bath tube, just so it does not become a habit. And for that, I will have to close the bathroom permanently. Every time I go in there, this is not the permanent solution, but yeah, at some point I want to have the cat toilet back in the bathroom. But first I need to make sure that she's only doing her thing in the cat toilet for at least a week or a month. It should be a month, actually. And there should be no exception. She should not do it in the bath tube one time. And that's the challenge. So for 1 month, I have to close the door really strictly, to be really strict to myself, because I don't have the habit to close it every time. Sometimes I leave the door open, so I need to first work on myself, and I need to leave some water inside of the bath tube if I forget to close the door. So I have some kind of fallback plan to really make sure that she cannot do her thing in the bath tube. Okay, enough about that. I'm stressed enough. Let's chill a little bit and look at another cat. Look at Luna. That's a beautiful cat. It's beautiful. Sleeping there. Unfortunately, the camera is not focusing on her for some reason. Don't have anything in front of the camera. Luna. Now it's focusing. But look at that the whole day. And I will. Okay, just kidding. Let's go. So, last time, oh, that's the wrong monitor. What am I doing? The wrong monitor? Let me change that one. Okay, sorry, small accident. Actually, watching my own stream just to make sure that that it's working. Okay, now let's go. So last time we left off, and I said I want to I want to go to GitHub, and I had some basic problems because of the email address. Now I mailed my university because they changed something about the address, and because it's Christmas, nobody will answer that, and so GitHub is going to wait for now. But it's in progress. It's something in progress, and I will keep trying to get into GitHub. I have a GitHub account, and I don't want to make a new one again, because it's registered at my preferred email. So it's maybe a matter of days that I can get into GitHub. So let's take a look at the game and see if we can change something. And I think I noticed the first thing that we can work on, and that is, if we go inside of here, you can see everything is working fine. Yeah, okay, that was not what I was trying to show. Let's go into the main menu, new game. Okay, and sometimes those two figures display the jump idle animation on the first frame. You barely see it. I think I cannot even show it with pausing the game. Yeah, that was not pausing. Also the wrong key. Yeah, no, you don't see that. So the problem is they're starting like this. Like this. They're hanging in the air and then put their arms down. It's really just one frame where it's visible, but it's noticeable. And it's happening every time you play a new game. And we're trying to fix this. Okay, so let's take a look here. Can we see the UI right now? No, we can't. So let's enable that one. And this is one menu here. The character selection screen. Let's enable that one. And here we can see both of these figures here. You can just pick male or female. I wrote character selection, so I don't know if right now it's male and female, but maybe in the future it would be more possible choices. So maybe another look or something. So it's not about gender only. It's just currently. And I don't have any plans to change that currently. So whatever. So why are they starting in the idle animation? So we have let's look into the animator. And let's just look at the male one. And it's an old name. Should be named Leia. I don't think that's going to change a thing. This is Leia prefab. Once that had another name. Doesn't matter anymore. And in here must be the animation control. These audio sources don't do anything. Let's try to find the animator. So if these animation tester scripts, which we will want to look at, so they say idle and ground. And I think they work like that. They are activated at the first frame. But I want to look at the animation right now. A little bit fortunate because I don't find it. Where's the animation? Must be an animator oh, there it is. The animator component. And let's rename this. Group player animation. Okay. So it should start at the idle animation. This is the entry point. That up here. This is the entry point. The default entry is idle. So at the start of the UI, it says it goes into jump idle, which is correct, because then they are not grounded. If they are not standing on the ground, the player is not standing on the ground. It's in the air, obviously. So his arms go up immediately. There's no delay in here. Oh no, there's a transition. So it will always go up in a fraction of its time, 10%, and in another fraction it will go down. So what happens if you start here is, and it detects it's not on the ground, then the arms will go up, and then in the next frame it's already to detect the script is starting, telling it telling that the figure is on the ground, and activate this ground. If ground is true, the arms are going down, and we will transition into the idle animation again. So what's going wrong here? Well, we have to find a way so it never goes into this state. It has to be in this state from the first frame, and the first thing that we can try to do here is just pick this and say, what if we say start with ground? Ooh. The problem here is I don't want to do this, because now I'm changing it in every scene, and I'm not supposed to do that. But else, in every scene where we are standing on the ground from the start, the arms will go up. So let's just try it out and see what happens. Let's see if the first frame will be with the arms up. And if this fixes this, it will fix it in every scene. Yeah, it's fixed. So this fixed the problem, because the arms are not going to go up. Yep. And then we can just select the character. So, first problem is gone. We select. And we have an unhandled warning here. So what happened is, Windows Media error unhandled color standard. Falling back to default, this may result in random issues. Okay, let's just straight up Google that, because I have no idea. It looks like it doesn't like the format that we are using. So probably we could ignore that error warning. It's a warning, not an error. probably we can ignore it. We shouldn't really. But it's kind of. Can we justify to ignore that error? A warning. It's a warning. It's a warning. It's a warning. Okay. Let's first think about it. I said we can ignore it because it's just some files file standard, class standard that doesn't like. I'm going to say the performance is bad because of that. But it may result in rendering issues. That's serious. That's actually serious. So let's make the rule, because it's not causing issues right now. It seems to handle it just fine. But let's nonetheless fix this error. Because try to fix this error, because if you Google this up and maybe can fix it very, very fast, then there's no justification in not fixing it. You have to check it if it's an easy fix. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Fixed in it's fixed in this version. The version that has a lot of other error. To remove the warning, you should check how to add the color standard in the file. Editing while editing or recording. What? You can use FFmpeg to edit, but you have to re-encode your file, lowering the quality. Use and customize this command for your need. We reduced redundant warnings, so you should see only one per file. So what is happening here is there's just the colored standard information should be in the file information, and it's missing, and it's just guessing the color standard, I think, and it guessed it right. This is why in the scene here in the game you can see everything just right because it's guessing right. How to fix this? Now I wonder why they say this is fixed in 2022.2. We are in 2022.1, but we have another problem in 2022.2 with the MPEG and WAV files, so we can't go into 2022.2, the current one. We have to wait until we have a version of Unity that we can upgrade into, because currently we have issues with that. Tried that yesterday, didn't work. Yeah, and we had this with Wave and MP3. So if we open it with FFmpeg, we'll lower the quality. We don't want that. So the only way to do this is to render this video again. This is just a file, and we can render that again. I did it in Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere. Premiere. And that would fix this warning. Or we can just wait for the next update. I don't know how they handle that error though. A warning. It's a warning. That's a little bit weird. Because how do they fix this? If they say there's necessary information about the color standing missing, and they fixed that somehow. Hey, interesting. Don't know. I don't know. What does it say? It's not existent in 2022. So okay, you can just wait for this. This will fix itself with upgrading once we have a 2022 patch available that we actually can use, because the current one, we tried it yesterday. See the word, it's unusable. So let's go on. Okay, so we have one warning. We can ignore that. Let's go on and start the game.
Evolve, become a great vampire.
Okay, and we saw something here. Here's another warning that was triggered in the moment we stood up. So we have to fix that. Parameter none does not exist. Okay, we have to see where it is called. Yeah. Doesn't tell us where it's called, I think. And we will do that in 5 minutes. In a minute. I'm just going to the bathroom real quick. Excuse myself. So be right back. Hey, just in time. Yeah, I made myself some chocolate too. Oh, yeah, that took a while. Ah, we can now go on. Let's plug it in white. 1, 2. Okay, here we go. So, got myself some chocolate. Oh. Ah, nice. So, parameter does not exist. Let's fix that. So, where is this called? In the dialog box, set at end emotion. Okay, you know, it's in dialog box. Let's go and fix it. Where is the dialog system? Let's just straight up search the class. This one. It's just setting a trigger. Okay, set and emotion is the function that we are looking for, and we're going to fix that it doesn't trigger when there's nothing in there. So set and emotion, there it is. And really, the coding standard in the project overall is terrible, and sometimes most of the time it's that every method is like in Java as in lowercase, and I started to fix that and write the new methods in uppercase, and now the coding standard is pretty messed up and kind of a problem. And I bet because I'm changing a lot of functions every now and then, going to be a problem in the long run, but yeah, whatever. See, yeah, there's also another coding standard, not good for us, but let's just go for the real problem here. So it actually checks if the string is null or empty, and then sets the trigger. And if it's not null or empty, it's going to take that name. If it is null or empty, it's going to say idle. So for some reason, it's not saying idle. It thinks there's a name, so the string is not null, I guess. So for explanation, I thought it would say set trigger and emotion name, and that it wouldn't make a check if maybe there's nothing in there, but it already does. So if there's an empty name, there's already a function in there that should handle that correctly. So it looks very good. For some reason, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So let's go into the scene, which is scene 1, level 1, and try to fix this. Level 1, yeah. And we change here. Yeah, we changed the player name. We want to apply the change and go to level 1. Don't want to see the UI anymore. Thank you. And basically, this is the first level. And I want to change that dialogue. This is I think this is the first dialogue. And let's see. End emotion name. Get up. So there's something in here. What? That's weird. So there's an animation name here. And it should use that emotion name. So this says emotion, yes. Okay, this is true. Let's check then it is null or empty. No. This is not null. It says get up. So this is not true. It's going to the next else if. This is true. This string is not null nor empty and no end emotion. This is false. No end emotion is false. So all of these three conditions apply. It's going into this bracket. And it could be that it's not the end emotion name that's wrong here. It's that emotion animation name that is reset, mouth closed, and emotion animation. Reset trigger. Mouth closed. Yeah, that's okay. So we need. I'm going to make a bet here that if we check if this is false, if these are these strings are empty, and we write this, then it's not going to throw a warning. Let's go. So now we check, is this name null? And we need to say this should not be null. It has to be set, and then we are going to do some stuff. Okay, let's play the game again from the main menu and see if we get a warning again, or if this fixed the warning. And also let's play some music. Because programming is stressful. Need some relaxation. Okay, let's go on. We're going to play this from the main menu. And will we get a warning or not?
Awake, evolve, become a great vampire.
No, it's fixed. That's great. Okay, now we are done with the programming stuff. We're also going to turn down the music because it's interfering with the music that I'm hearing all the time. Okay. So what's next is when I move the mouse. Kind of had the feeling that it was weird when I'm moving the mouse. The character is looking to the other direction. Let's look at into that again. So first, let's turn out the music. Loading screen is looking fine.
Awake, evolve, become a great vampire.
Okay, it's fine. It's waiting. So he's waiting for approximately 2 seconds or something. If you have the mouse here, he's going to aim at that point. But I think it's fine. It's fine. So the next thing that we want to fix is this. Now you might ask, what? There's nothing there. But I saw something. I had a tester and he said it feels weird that when we are going this way, that the character is not on the ground at this point here. And you might say, hey, but that's how gravity works. If you go on the slope and it just falls down immediately, and you just walk into this direction, you're going to jump. But the problem is, it's not what gamers are used to have. You expect when you're going this way that the character is not going on the ground at any point. We need to fix that. And this is actually not easy to do. Except if you're doing it right. So the real problem is another thing. So let's first fix this. So we have the player, and the player has a speed, maximum speed, and he has a rigid body. And this rigid body has a mass and a gravity scale. So if we increase the gravity scale, the gravity should be so high that if we go to the side, he's still staying on the ground. So let's double the gravity scale here and keep testing. I'm going to press enter just to skip immediately. And you see, that's not enough. Can feel that he's more on the ground, but it's not enough. Let's double that again. I'm going to double it until he really stays on the ground all the time. And there's 2 problems with that, and that is the jump and our movement speed is going to be impacted by that. So you already saw he's barely jumping here. Just a little bit more, and it should be the right value. Now we're just going to do this a dozen of times until we find the right value. So 32 should be way too much. And let's still try that out. And you see one problem? He doesn't get up here. When we're jumping, he's not moving anymore. And we can't get up here anymore because the gravity just pulls us way too hard. Now, another thing is we also have a mass. We could change that, but this will impact how other enemies are tossing our character around. I don't want that. So let's just ignore the problems that we did see and keep increasing the gravity scale until we never actually jump. This is not going to work anyhow. So what happens now is, once you're on a slope, you're sliding down immediately because gravity will pull you so hard. Nonetheless, this is a fraction of a frame where your character is actually in the air. So this is not good at all. And let's just stand on the slope and I will show you something. Yeah? It's kind of weird. Because I don't like the speed. Okay. So we're already at the ridiculously high number. And we still have a fraction where the character is in the air. So everything is really, really bad. Really bad right now. So it looks like the fix won't be that easy. Now we are not in the air. So we did the first part. Now the problem is, how do we get up a slope? We can't get up a slope anymore. And we can't jump anymore. So what you would do is first take care of that we can jump again. And this is very easy. We have the jump force that it has been carefully calculated. And now I have to just guess a new one. So in the old build, you just take out a calculator. In the old build, we had a jump force, a gravity scale of 4. It's now 128 divided by 4 is 32. Times the current jump force is, so this should be 696. And I bet this is not going to go well. I bet the character, if you jump now, is going to the roof or something. Oh, or nothing. It's not enough. It's also not good. Can I get upper? No. So I can't jump. Interesting. So we are now so fat. We can't get up a centimeter. Not even an inch. Okay. So even with this ridiculously high jump force, we can't jump. Let's just go up another ridiculously high number and just ignore the fact that we have lost any kind of relation. I think it's doing this in some kind of physical calculation. Just forget about that and try to fix it somehow else. There's also a max jump speed. I'm not sure if that would impact. I think that's probably going to impact it. Yeah, I think it's the maximum jump speed that is impacting us. So let's go back to 696. And also say 21 times 22 is 992. So we have to keep in mind this is not how physics work. Like, I don't know what they did right into their calculation. Now we can jump. Now we can jump. Yeah, that's nice. But and I have the feeling like it's not good. Something is messed up. It might be that we are jumping into the clouds and right into the sky, and coming back with the speed of a rocket. It's kind of weird. So let's maybe Google this. Unity 2D make character stick to slopes. Super easy tutorial. Okay, it's 3 minutes. Let's go.
Do you want a simple solution of keeping your player attached to the ground that can also handle slopes? Well, this short tutorial will show you just that. We will be using a raycast to check below our character, then offset our character back to the ground. I already have a scene set up with basic shapes. These objects have a 2D collider on them. I also created a new layer called ground, which I set all these objects to. I have a player character already set up that can move left and right via transform.translate. This can also work with rigid body movement. We need to add an empty game object, which will act as our player's foot position. I'll drop my player into this empty game object and make sure the visual's bottom lines up with this object. We need one more empty game object, which I'll leave towards the center of my player's visual. This game object will be our raycast origin point, which it is important that it is above our player's foot object. Create a C# script, which I'll call ground check. You can see I have 4 variables set up. You can see 3 of my variables have a serialized field tag, which just makes it so I can create a direct reference in the editor. The first variable is a transform called raycast origin, which will store our raycast origin point. The second is a transform called player feet, which will store our player's feet transform so we can use its position. The third is a layer mask called layer mask, which will be used for our raycast to help make it more performant. The last variable is a raycast hit 2D called hit 2D, which will store the data collected from our raycast. We don't need the start method, so delete it. You can see I created a new method called ground check method. We need to store our raycast data, which we do by setting hit 2D equal to physics2d.raycast parenthesis raycast origin.position, comma, negative vector 2.up, comma, 100, comma, layer mask. Our raycast origin point is where the raycast will originate from. The negative vector 2.up is the direction we want our ray to cast. This may vary depending on how you set your scene up. The 100 is
So he's basically casting down from a point. It's a little bit weird that he uses 100F. Because that's a very long distance in Unity. That's basically half a map. Yeah.
is the distance we want our raycast to travel. This can be adjusted to fit your needs though. The layer mask just tells the raycast to ignore everything that is not under this specific layer, which saves on computation when there are a lot of objects on screen. I call an if statement which checks if hit 2D is not equal to false. This is just another performant check. In the if statement, I created a vector 2 called temp set equal to player feet.position. We want to get the new position to move our player, which in this case we need the Y position of our raycast hit point. This is why I take temp.y set equal to hit2d.point.y. Lastly, set our player feet.position equal to temp. Now call our ground check method in the update method. Save the script and head back to Unity. Attach the script to our player object. Fill out the fields in the script by dragging in the raycast origin object and the player feet object. Select the ground layer from the dropdown, start the game up, and you should be able to traverse any terrain with this setup. With this all complete, you can find that I shared the project file down below using the ground check method in the
Wait,
update
let me
method.
check. Why is he staying on the ground? I think he's setting the position. He's setting the position of the player feet. That's bad. That's not a good solution. Never work with transform. It's going to break. With this, you're going to break. You need to use the rigid body and only work with that. If you work with a position, you're breaking the Unity collision detection system, and it's a really, really bad idea what he's doing here. It looks really, really good, but this is no, don't do it.
In this video, I would like to show you how you can ensure that your character can move up and down the slope in your 2D platformer game. Hi, I'm Peter, and welcome to Sunny Create
Oh God, man, this
my map. And
I just hate the
basically,
intro.
I have the visual part, which is the ground tile map, which contains the tile map renderer. Now, if I disable it, next we will have a ground collider, which is simply the part of the collisions when I am set the rigid bar. What I would like to do is, when I reach the slope area, I would like to set my velocity to be 0 so that now our character will stop sliding, as well as I would like to set my player rigid body to be kinematic to stop moving, stop being affected by the gravity. Now, to move my character, I have implemented a state pattern to divide the different game mechanics into separate scripts. So all I want to do is go to the idle state, so the logic behind what happens when
Already don't like what he's saying. So what he's doing is he's switching this body type from dynamic to kinematic, so you don't slide anymore and are not affected by gravity anymore. So many exceptions. So when you're on a slope and you can you somehow magically have an algorithm that always detects when you're on a slope correctly, and this is just one of the slopes that we have. The slope in the game could be on an enemy. It could be one of those stones. Look at these stones here. Just look at that. Imagine this as a slope. How it's really hard to detect when is this flat and when not. You basically have to scan the environment. Detect, calculate the angle of what you're standing on, and then make the right guess. That's a very hard solution. I really don't like that. But let's go on. Maybe for a second I thought, yeah, maybe it's a good idea, and then I was like, no, maybe not. Let's go on.
I am standing idle. And what happens here is, when I am grounded, I want to set the velocity to be vector 2.0. So this is when I am idle. What I want to do as well is I want to set the rigid body to be of type kinematic when I enter this idle state, so the idle logic. So basically what you want to do is create a public rigid body 2D reference, RB2D. And what you would like to do is set this when you start being idle and playing the idle animation. You would like to set this is kinematic to be true. And this is basically making this rigid body unaffected by gravity when we are standing idle. Now this is great, but we cannot be kinematic when we want to start moving, or we want to start jumping, or whatever else you have in your game. So basically, whenever I want to do anything else, I want to set is kinematic to be false, so that our rigid body is again dynamic, so we can keep moving. So when I enter this idle state, I set this to be kinematic. So when you stop moving, you would set it to be kinematic. And when you start jumping or start running, or when you get the input to do those things, you would set the rigid body back to be dynamic. And basically, this is the idea. Let me save the script, and let's go back to Unity to test it. Okay.
Okay. So you could do this only if you're idle on the ground. Yeah, which is something you need to detect. But maybe yes, maybe.
So let me press play animation.
There's still parts that I don't see how he fixes us not getting up there. So, for example,
Exactly at the time when you land on the ground, and you may want to play some land sound. But basically, there will be an issue because when we are climbing the slope, our character will partially be in the air because we are moving in the right or left direction, and basically it is falling down the slope. And especially this happens when we are moving very fast and when we are transitioning from the slope towards the flat surface or from one slope that has a different angle than another slope. So this is an issue because now I'm hearing a lot of those land sounds as well as my character is transitioning from its original animation of running to this falling animation. This doesn't make any sense. So I'd like to fix this as well. So what is going on here and how we can fix it? Well, this is why in the colliders I have set the slope collider to have the slope layer and the ground collider to have this ground layer. Now, since I already know that my agent ground collider is detecting both of those layers as a ground, I can
out of the question. You cannot generically just say, hey, every slope in your game has to be set to a specific layer. That's a lot of work, and you're going to forget it. And that's you want the ground on the ground layer, not on two separate layers. That's really making more layers is a lot of work. It's bad for the code. It's bad for the performance. This is not a good solution.
be sure that when I stand still, it will play the correct idle animation, and this is grounded will be checked. I would like to also check when I am on top of the slope, because if I know this, then I can prevent the transition from the idle animation to full animation. So I will open the ground detector script that allows me to detect if we are colliding with the ground or not. At the top of the script, I will simply add 3 more variables. One will be public bool is on the slope property with a public getter and private setter, so we can set it through the script and get it from the outside of the script. Next, we're going to have a public layer mask slope mask, and next we're going to have a public float slope raycast distance, which will be the distance of a raycast, and this will be equal to 1. Next, what I will do is find the method that performs the check if we are grounded, and I'm going to add here the code that our on the slope is equal to physics2d.raycast, and I will pass the center point of the raycast, so this is the origin. Then we are going to pass the direction, which is vector2.down. Next, we are going to pass the distance, which is the slope raycast distance, and lastly, I will pass the slope mask to detect if we are on the slope or not, if you are colliding with a collider that is on the slope mask. And this will be set to be either true or false, and this will be returned to this property. So now we can...
I'm getting a little bit impatient here. Yes. Yeah, I just got the idea that we can set the character kinematic, so it's not affected by gravity anymore. What the hell? I got an idea. So right now the character is working like this. You see there's 3 ground checks. And in theory, if we detect the ground check at the front where you're facing to, is detecting something, but the last one is not detecting something. Like I can just show it like this here. Now we are getting up. this detector is detecting something. This one isn't. So we are going up. So we can actually detect that we are on some kind of slope. The problem is no, that's correct. It's correct. One problem would be that this is a little bit troublesome when you're standing at a wall and has to be in the other direction, like here. So if then this detector would detect, hey, I touch something ground, would think we are on a slope. But what I'm thinking about is, let's detect if we are on a slope, going up, and then change the gravity. Let's not go into kinematic completely. When we are not grounded, let's also change the gravity. It's not an easy solution. That's not an easy solution. Really not. Really. It's not easy solution. Put the player back. Okay, what? So let's go through this step by step. Let's go Excel. And I have this sub-step to-do list somewhere. And actually it says it can't find it. I think I changed its position in the file system, place in the file system. Let's open that up. I think there's nothing in here. Oh, there's actually some. Clean first level too many assets. Yeah, put assets into maps. Change menu main sprite when no continue. Yeah. Okay, something we can do later. Okay, first, so we're getting to 15 o'clock, and then I have to go visit the family, Christmas things, do some stuff there. But we can plan what we can achieve. So first, find find a good value for jumping. Find good values for gravity and jump. Then we will have the problem that we can't get up slopes.
Käsklösd.
Oh, hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Case closed. 981. What? Okay, hi there. Gravity. Okay, you just know a good value for that. But the problem with 981 is this: when I put in here into the gravity scale 981, the problem is that I will jump at slopes. I'll show you. Come on, play. See that at slopes, we're going to be jumping here. And I'm trying to fix that. And the first thing is just have the gravity so high that you stick to the ground always. Maybe this is not a good solution. Oh no, never mind. Yeah. So how do we solve this? So I think the best solution would be to have the character really stick to the ground somehow. And what makes the character stick to the ground? Yeah, it's gravity. It's nothing else except gravity. And it's something like gravity times mass, but I don't want to change the mass too much. I actually not at all. Because if somebody is hitting you in the game, you're going to be pushed back a bit. And if you have a high mass, and somebody is hitting you, nothing is going to happen because you're just so fat. Somebody punches you, you're not going. You don't even feel it. Yeah. Because you cannot move that much mass. So. Kind of. So first step is to just find good values for gravity, and then for jump, so we can still jump up. And then write a detection system for slopes when jumping, or going slope up, change gravity scale. This would be the plan. This would be the plan that how we can do this, and we can only do the first step today. Yeah. So let's try to actually find good values for gravity and jump. Save this up. So 9 Act 1 is unfortunately not just going to help us, because we need to guarantee that he's not jumping down these slopes here. So I think it's about 100. It's about 100, and we just have to test that out when he's not jumping. And then this only fixes the down part. But we can do that today. We saw that the character was jumping. Let's try that again. Hey, you saw that? We saw one frame of idle animation there, where that looked right on the second slope, but the first one didn't work, so need more gravity. We just have to stick to the ground first. And then we just write all the exceptions, so that in other cases where we don't want to stick to the ground, we don't. And that is when we are going up slopes and when we are jumping. Okay. Let's see, the character was getting up there. Gravity scale. We have 5 minutes, 4 minutes to find this value, but it shouldn't be that hard. Just find error. That looked alright. Okay, now we have the problem when we are going down slopes. We stick to the ground basically, but we are getting too fast. God damn it. I think we limit this to 1. It will not get faster. I think this is the speed that you can go up or down. Nope. 2 minutes left. Looks like we won't do it today. Come on, one last try. Let me just stand on the slope here. And you're just sliding down immediately. And it's too fast. Okay, we have an unsolvable problem, and we have to solve it. Basically, if gravity pulls us down, we're going too fast. Now we're going slopes down. Now we stick to slopes, but we are going down so fast. Can you manipulate the movement in C#? Yes, we can. We can limit the maximum amount of speed that you go down, the velocity down. That's not really a good solution. So we cannot manipulate the position, because then we would manipulate on top of the widget body system, which is going to do the collision detection for us. I mean, you move one step to the right while being on a downwards slope, limit the movement speed to the right by an absolute value. Was already a limit. It should be this speed. Just see what happens. I put this in there. There's a max speed in here. I'm not sure if this is only applying to the speed that we can add to the character. You see he's really slow. No, this is actually not working. Come on, get down there. Yeah, okay, that's not working. Oh, that's also a problem. Okay, so the current solution doesn't seem to be the right way, and I don't seem to have the right idea right now how to handle slopes. I don't have the right idea right now. If you limit the speed alone, you're also running into problems. On horizontal ground, you move 1 unit to the right. This 1 unit should also be maximum value when being on a slope. It sounds good in a vacuum, in a bubble. But what if something is pushing you? And for example, you get hit by a fireball. The fireball is pushing back the character. And if you just say, hey, I want to always limit the... Oh, wait, there's a pushback function for that. I'd already solved this. If you are pushed back by a fireball, you run into an exception. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but do we talk about movement or be pushed away by a firewall? Okay, we talk about movement, yeah. And if you're being pushed back by an ability, it's actually a boolean in the inside of the character script that just goes through for, I think, 0.5 seconds or something, maybe a little bit shorter, where it's just say, okay, ignore all the stuff that applies to movement speed while being pushed back. Yeah, straight up ahead. So because there's just some stuff going on for the character movement. Okay, so but I said 15 o'clock and we haven't solved it yet. Next time I will have to go into the code and really try to limit the amount of speed that you can go down a slope. And hopefully, thank you for following. Hopefully we will be able to fix that. So, because it's Christmas, you know, I have to visit my family. Yeah, I hated social interaction and stuff, but it has to be done. And I'll be ending the stream now and be heading out now. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. Bye. All right, have a nice evening. See you too. Bye.